Lewis Hamilton's 8th place finish carried a meaning few expected. This wasn't about championship points, it wasn't about raw speed, it wasn't even about wheel-to-wheel battles. What unfolded in Baku uncovered something deeper. The cracks inside Ferrari, the fading trust, and the moment Charles Leclerc's frustration finally broke through, in words the cameras never aired. On the surface, it looked like a swap that simply misfired. But behind Ferrari's quiet pit wall, the story was chaos. Radio calls that never made the broadcast, engineers scrambling for answers, and a teammate who called the order stupid and not fair. Hamilton crossed the line in P8. Yet that number now represents more than just a midfield finish, because the way it happened revealed Ferrari's greatest flaw, their inability to command their own drivers, their own decisions, and their own politics. This wasn't just about a failed switch, it was about what that failure symbolised. Hamilton's so-called miscalculation became the clearest sign yet of a hierarchy fracturing within Maranello. It all began on lap 42. With newer tyres, Hamilton closed in on Leclerc. The team gave the instruction, let Lewis through, let him chase the pack ahead. Leclerc complied, he stepped aside, Hamilton pressed on, but the plan was doomed before it began. Norris, Tsunoda, Lawson, they were already too far ahead. Ferrari had waited too long. Still, Hamilton chased, closing the gap, refusing to give up. Then came the question from Leclerc. If Lewis can't pass, are we swapping back or leaving it? A simple query, but laced with frustration. His engineer hesitated. I'll get back to you. By the final lap, the answer came. Swap back. Hamilton's engineer, Riccardo Adami, urged him to slow. Think back to Vettel. The notorious multi-21 echo still lingers. Those moments when strategy calls dissolved into mistrust, when engineers hesitated, when radios fell silent. For anyone who's followed Ferrari long enough, Baku was déjà vu. Leclerc has lived this cycle before, instructions to attack followed by sudden reversals and strategies that vanish within laps. Each time the same pattern repeats. Ferrari overcomplicates, Ferrari delays, Ferrari divides, and Hamilton, he recognises this pattern more than anyone. At Mercedes, orders were sharp, immediate, unquestioned, commands that carried weight. In Baku, he saw the opposite: hesitation, confusion, a structure already falling apart. The botched swap wasn't a single weekend's blunder. It was another entry in Ferrari's long history of mishandling its own authority. Drivers change, engineers rotate, but the culture of indecision endures. For fans, rivals, and Hamilton himself, Baku confirmed what many feared. Ferrari hasn't escaped its ghosts, they're repeating them. And this time, the most seasoned driver of his generation is observing every detail. The radio said more than strategy, they exposed character. Hamilton's voice, calm even in irritation, showed control. One word: damn it. Then silence. No tantrum, no blame, just a man already calculating what this failure meant for the larger war. Every hesitation becomes data for him. He stores it, studies it, adapts. Leclerc's reaction was different. Sarcasm first, that he can enjoy that 8 pesos. Then anger. It's just stupid, it's not fair. The mask slipped, the frustration of being undermined spilling out. His instinct was emotional, not strategic, and that contrast matters. Hamilton plays chess. Leclerc vents in the moment. One thinks about the future, the other reacts in the present. And Ferrari is caught between them, the strategist and the reactor, the leader and the loyalist. In Baku, Hamilton didn't need to say much to shape the narrative. His restraint amplified Leclerc's outburst. His silence highlighted the cracks. That imbalance is far more dangerous to Ferrari than a lost 8th place. Ferrari wanted harmony. Instead, they revealed weakness. What should have been a routine position swap became public proof of dysfunction, noticed by fans, rivals, and media alike. For Leclerc, the damage was psychological. He obeyed, he protested, and ended up humiliated. His sarcastic words confirmed to the paddock that he feels sidelined in his own team. That perception will linger. For Hamilton, the result is paradoxical. He officially apologised, labelling it a misjudgment. But symbolically, his 8th place carried weight. Even when things go wrong, Ferrari bends. He doesn't lose authority, they do. And that's exactly what unsettles those within Maranello who resist his growing influence. For Ferrari itself, the warning couldn't be louder. This wasn't a title battle. It was a midfield skirmish, but it exposed how fragile their structure already is. If they can't handle a call for 8th and 9th, how will they cope with real podium pressure? How long before driver rivalry evolves into outright civil war? The next races won't only be about lap times, they'll be about trust. Who steps forward as leader and who ends up following? That contest has only begun. Ferrari thought this was about P8 and P9, but it was about control, it was about hierarchy, it was about the moment a single misjudgment exposed the cracks in an entire system. Hamilton apologised, Leclerc fumed, the engineers stumbled, and Ferrari left Baku weaker than when they arrived. That's the story the broadcast didn't show you, but here we don't just watch Formula One, we decode it. Now it's your turn. Do you rebiked? Do you believe Hamilton's 8th place proved he's already reshaping Ferrari from within? Or was this just another episode of chaos from a team unable to govern its own drivers? Tell me what you think in the comments. And if you stand with Hamilton in this battle, let Ferrari know. Write #StandWithLewis. The next race won't just be about points, it will be about trust. Subscribe now, because when the lights go out, Ferrari's civil war will ignite again, and you won't want to miss the next move in this fight.